Tonight, I'm going to show you who the real mimic is. Most people think these are just stories, digital campfire tales designed to keep you awake, but they are wrong. If you're listening to this tape until the very last second, you will see exactly what they look like. I have recovered the visual that was never meant to leave the evidence locker. But remember, by the time you see it, it has likely already seen you. The tape begins with a light, a flickering screen of 1919's scanlines, bleeding purple and green at the edges. A white text fades in, property of Asheville Police Department, evidence number 188B. The audio is a thick, suffocating wall of static. This isn't just a video, it's a window into a month when the air in North California turned sour. Before these crimes started, there was a silence so heavy it felt like it was pressing against your eardrums. Good evening, Asheville. I'm Daniel Harper. Tonight, our top story continues to focus on the Hawthorne Creek area, where the search for 9-year-old Nathan Cole entered its 4th day. Daniel Ismail is a fragile mask. He looks like a man who has seen a ghost but is paid to talk about the weather. Authorities are urging all residents to keep their windows locked, not because of the predator they can see, but because of something they are starting to hear. As he said the word "hear," the audio glitches, a wet, tearing sound that lasts a millisecond. This is Officer Mark Ronaldo, recording date June 12, 1994, location 422 Hawthorne Drive. Mark's breathing is heavy. On the tape, you can hear a distant voice calling out from the woods. It sounds like a woman, desperate and crying. Is anyone there? I'm tripped. I think my ankle is broken. Mark whispering into the mic. That voice? That's Sarah Miller. But Sarah Miller was dead 3 months ago. The voice is perfect. The cadence, the soap, the regional accent. It's her, but it's not her. The creature at the edge of the tree line isn't a ghost. It isn't a demon, it's a mimic. A biological anomaly that feeds on identity. It doesn't have a voice of its own, so it harvests yours. It waits in the shadows, listening to your conversation, memorizing your laughter, learning the way you call your children for dinner. It practicing in the dark. If you hear a branch snap and then hear your own voice calling back to you from the blackness, you're already being hunted. The North Carolina Department of Public Safety has issued a mandatory auditory quarantine for the following counties: Buncombe, Henderson, Haywood. The alert tone is a jagged, mechanical shriek. Do not engage in conversation with individuals outside your home after dark. Do not respond to familiar voices originating from unlit areas. Silence is your only defense. If you hear yourself calling from outside, it's already too late. It started with small things, a laugh that lasted a second too long, a mother's call for dinner that echoed 3 times when there was no wind. The father, Thomas Peterson, recorded their movements on his handheld camcorder, thinking it was a strange acoustic phenomenon, but on the tape you can hear it. Between the echoes there are wet, rhythmic clicking, the sound of the mimic thought adjusting, stretching and wrapping it vocal cords to match the human frequency. It wasn't an echo, it was a rehearsal. At 1:30 a.m. on their final night, the youngest daughter, Lily, woke up. She heard her father's voice coming from right outside her bedroom window. "Lily, honey, come help me with the firewood. I have dropped my keys." The voice was identical. The voice was similar. The same warm tone, the same perspective rasp. But Thomas Peterson was asleep in the room next door. The tape captures the moment Lily nears the window. In the reflection of the glasses, we see it, a pale, elongated, a pale face with no eyes, with mouth moving in perfect synchronization with the father's voice. The horror peaked when the real Thomas ran into the room, alerted by the scenes of dread. For a few seconds, Lily stood between two fathers, one behind her, warm and terrified, one outside the glass, cold and calling her name. The creature didn't run, it just stood there, tightened its head, its jaw unhanging to reveal the thought that looked like an endless black pit. And then it spoke in Lily's voice. "Daddy! Daddy, why are there two of you?" The mimic wasn't just baiting her anymore. It was mocking them. When the authorities reached the Peterson cabin 2 days later, they found the camera recorder still running, its battery nearly dead. The house was empty. No signs of the struggle, no broken locks, just a lingering smell of ozone and wet earth. The final frames of the tape show the front door standing wide open and dozens of different voices, men, women, children, all calling out from the tree simulation. The mimic had finished its collection.